often,
Aging
and
is
don't want it foreign,
inevitable.
and making
Wrinkles
sure that
form,
you're getting
hair
enough
turns
sleep,
gray,
because that really
time leaves its
impacts everything
mark.
else.
But there is one thing many men believe they must accept that is not true: the quiet fading of their erections. Too often, men over 60 sit in silence, carrying the belief that this decline is destiny, that passion is only a memory. Yet the truth is different. Losing your erection is not a sentence of age, it is a choice made without knowing what your body truly needs. What if I told you that the strength you thought was gone can return, not with pills, not with risky shortcuts, but with something far simpler? What if the key has been sitting in front of you all along, overlooked at dinner tables and grocery aisles, waiting for the moment you finally give it the chance to work? This is not about chasing youth. It is about reminding your body of what it already knows how to do. Circulation is the lifeblood of desire, and when it flows freely, intimacy returns with a strength that feels natural, spontaneous, and real. And there is one food, proven by science and tradition alike, that supports this flow better than most drugs ever could. A food that can, in as little as a week, begin to restore the confidence you thought had slipped away. If this message touches something you've quietly lived with, I invite you to stay with me until the end, because what you'll hear may bring not only stronger erections, but the return of confidence, presence, and vitality. And before we continue, I'd be truly grateful if you subscribe to the channel, left a like if this message resonates with your journey, and shared it with someone close, a brother, a longtime neighbor, a friend from your walking group, or someone from church. In the comments, please tell us where you're watching from and your age. You'll see you're not alone. This is a space of care, and your story matters. Erections may seem like they are only about desire, but in truth, they are about circulation. In youth, the arteries are clean and elastic, blood flows easily, and the smallest vessels fill without resistance. That is why spontaneous, firm erections once came without effort. But as the years pass, changes happen quietly inside the body. Arteries begin to stiffen, small deposits of plaque settle in, and inflammation slowly narrows the very channels that carry blood where it is needed most. The penis receives its supply from the tiniest arteries in the body. That makes it the first place to reveal what is happening beneath the surface. A softer erection is not just an intimate frustration, it is a signal, a warning that circulation is already under stress. Doctors sometimes call it the canary in the coal mine, because what begins here often points to deeper trouble ahead for the heart and the brain. Most men are never told this. They believe weaker erections mean fading desire or low testosterone, when in fact,
So
the
when we
real
think about
culprit is
overall
often
wellness, it's
poor
not just
blood
about the
flow.
absence of disease.
And
It's
circulation
about a
is not
proactive
simply
approach
about
to your
age.
entire
It
lifestyle.
is shaped every day by what we eat, how we move, how we rest, and what we give or fail to give our bodies. This is the invisible diagnosis, the loss of vascular health. It hides in silence for years, until one morning you notice what feels like failure. But failure is not the truth. The truth is that your body still knows. The decline in circulation rarely comes from one dramatic event. More often it builds quietly, fed by small daily choices that seem harmless in the moment, but over time slowly close the body's pathways. One of the most common mistakes is diet. Many men over 60 rely on processed foods, white bread, fried meals, packaged snacks that strip away the natural compounds the body once depended on. Without the nitrates and antioxidants found in vegetables and greens, blood vessels lose their flexibility and nitric oxide production falls. Another silent mistake hides in the bathroom cabinet. Mouthwash, used faithfully every morning, seems like a symbol of cleanliness. But most commercial rinses kill the very bacteria in the
When we
mouth
think
that
about
the body
longevity,
needs
it's
to
not just
convert
about
dietary
adding years to
nitrates,
your life,
like those
it's
in
about
beetroot,
adding life
into
to your
nitric
years.
oxide. Without
This
them,
makes beetroot
even
a
the right
truly
foods
forgotten
lose
food.
their power, and circulation never improves. Then there is the fear of fat. For decades, men have been told to avoid fats for heart health. But in avoiding all fats, they also lose the healthy ones: olive oil, avocados, omega-3s, that the body requires to produce testosterone. Without these building blocks, desire weakens, and even the best blood flow struggles to spark true intimacy. And perhaps the most common mistake of all is stillness. Hours spent sitting at a desk, in a car, or in front of a television quietly restrict blood flow to the pelvis. What feels like rest is actually pressure, smothering the very circulation the body is trying to restore. These mistakes are not failures, they are simply habits formed over years, often without awareness. But each one quietly sabotages performance, not only in the bedroom, but in energy, mood, and confidence. The hopeful truth is that because these habits are so ordinary, they are also reversible. Small changes, choosing natural foods, protecting oral health, adding healthy fats, moving each day, begin to free the flow again, and with it, the return of strength you thought was gone. There is a simple food, often pushed to the side of the plate, that holds one of nature's most powerful secrets for circulation: beetroot. Most men think of it only as a salad garnish, a purple vegetable with little importance. Yet inside this root lies one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates, compounds your body converts into nitric oxide, the very signal that tells blood vessels to open wide and let life flow through. When nitric oxide is low, blood moves sluggishly, erections weaken, stamina fades, and energy drains. But when nitric oxide is restored, it is like lifting a gate. Blood rushes in, vessels expand, and the body remembers what it is capable of. Beetroot does not force this process the way pills attempt to. It supports it from within, repairing the system so it works naturally again. That is why some men who no longer respond to medications find themselves surprised when a simple change in diet begins to restore their strength. Science confirms what tradition has long suggested. Studies show that beetroot juice can lower blood pressure, improve vascular health, and enhance exercise performance. For men over 60, the benefits often appear where circulation matters most: firmer, longer-lasting erections, and renewed energy for daily life. And it doesn't take much: 4 to 6 ounces of fresh beet juice, half a cup of roasted beets, or even a spoonful of beet powder added to a smoothie
When we
can
think about
begin to make a
longevity,
difference
it's not
in
just
just
about adding
days.
years to your life,
The
it's
key is
about adding life
consistency and
to your
care.
years.
Beets should be lightly cooked to preserve their compounds, paired with leafy greens like spinach or arugula to boost the effect, and enjoyed as part of a nourishing meal. What seems ordinary becomes extraordinary when used with intention. For the man who feels his confidence slipping away, this forgotten food may be the signal his body has been waiting for, the spark to awaken strength, presence, and desire once more. There was a man in his late 60s who carried himself with quiet dignity. To those around him, he seemed steady, reliable, unchanged. But in private, he lived with a silence he could not share. Erections that had once been firm and natural now failed him. Nights with his partner turned into moments of frustration and distance. He told himself it was simply age, that this was what life demanded. But inside, he grieved a part of himself that felt gone forever. When he first heard that a simple food might help, he almost laughed. Beetroot? the purple vegetable his wife sometimes sliced into salads? It seemed absurd. But desperation makes room for curiosity, and so he tried. At first he noticed nothing. A week passed, then another. Yet quietly, his body began to change. He woke with more energy. His
So when we
steps
think
felt
about
lighter,
overall wellness,
his
it's
mind
not just about the
clearer.
absence of
And
disease.
then one
It's
morning,
about a
something
proactive approach to
unexpected
your entire
happened.
lifestyle.
An erection that was firm, natural, unforced, the kind he thought would never return. He told no one at first, not even his wife. But over the weeks that followed, she noticed the spark in his eyes, the laughter that had been missing, the warmth of his touch. Slowly, intimacy returned, not just physical, but emotional. He was no longer hiding in shame. He was present again, confident again, alive again. What struck him most was not the performance itself, but what it gave back, the sense of being whole, the assurance that he was still the man he had always been. The change was not magic, it was the simple act of nourishing his body with something it had quietly needed for years. Beetroot became more than a food. It became a reminder that decline is not destiny, that even in the later years, renewal is possible. His story is not unique. It is a mirror for countless men who believe the best years are behind them, when in truth, the body is only waiting for the right signal to rise again. Erections may seem like a private issue, but they carry a deeper truth. They are not only about intimacy, but about circulation, vitality, and identity. When they weaken, it feels as though something personal has been lost, as if age has taken more than years. It has taken confidence, presence, and the quiet strength that once felt unshakable. Many men resign themselves to this, believing it is simply the way life unfolds. But resignation is not the same as reality. The truth is that the body is not broken, it is overworked, undernourished, and waiting for support. Circulation can be restored, nitric oxide can rise again, energy can return. And what seems like the end of vitality is often only a signal, a call to care for the system that carries life to every part of you. Beetroot is not a miracle, but it is a symbol, a reminder that the answers are often simpler than we imagine, that a single food used with intention can awaken processes that pills could never force. It is proof that renewal is possible not by fighting against age, but by working with the body's own wisdom. So, if you have felt the slow erosion of strength, remember, it is not too late. Your body remembers. It waits for your decision to nourish it, to move with it, to believe in it again. What feels lost can return, not as youth reborn, but as maturity empowered, confidence restored, and vitality awakened. If this message touched something you have quietly carried, the frustration of weaker erections, the weight of fading energy, the silence that comes with lost confidence, thank you for staying until the end. It means more than you know. Because what you've heard here is not just about a vegetable. It is about remembering that your body still responds, still heals, still knows how to rise again when given the right care. If you found value here, I invite you to take one small step with us. Subscribe to this channel so we can keep sharing truths too often left unspoken. Leave a like if this message reflects your journey, and share it with someone you care about, maybe a brother, a neighbor, a longtime friend, or someone from your church or walking group. This is not just information, it is a lifeline, and someone close to you may need to hear it. And please add your voice in the comments. Do you already eat beetroot? Have you noticed a difference in your energy or your mornings? What other foods or habits have helped you feel more alive? Your words matter. not only for you, but for every man who reads them and realizes he is not alone. You're not too old. It's not too late. Your body still remembers how to heal. Sometimes it only needs the simplest signal, like the quiet strength of a root grown in the earth, to remind you that vitality is still yours to claim.